My name is Nickel, Nickel. If you want to enter into the giveaway, all you have to do is 1. Confirm that you're subscribed to the channel via the Gleam link in the description, and 2. Leave a comment on this video. I try to keep it as simple as possible, so it only should take a few seconds. So good luck to everyone that did that, but for now, let's just jump straight into the video. This first story is about a Korean Overwatch player who became the first player to reach the highest possible MMR in Overwatch, which is 5,000. I'm sure most of you guys know, but in case you don't, MMR is basically a way of ranking players in the game with the matchmaking queues. It's the game's way of matching up players with similar skill levels. And so now, Koo Kyo Min, who plays under the handle Evermore, was that first player to reach Overwatch's MMR limit of 5,000. And he did this in less than 4 days after Season 3 began. And as you can see from his page on overbuff.com, a site that tracks Overwatch statistics, he actually mainly plays Roadhog, which is kind of a weird coincidence because if you guys remember in the video called Overwatch Max Level, the guy who was the first person to reach Overwatch's max level without account sharing also mainly played Roadhog. So it's kind of weird that it was Roadhog in both cases. In the case with Overwatch's max level, and in this case with Overwatch's max rank. If you haven't seen that video, it'll be linked down below in the description. Anyway, according to this page, Evermore has over 400 games as Roadhog alone, and his stats for Roadhog are pretty good. Good enough that he's actually a member of the Korean Overwatch team Kongdu Panthera, and Kongdu Panthera actually has a YouTube channel where they post videos that feature Evermore. So the video you're looking at is a clip from Kongdu Panthera's channel called Overwatch, the #1 Roadhog, amazing play. And in this video, you can actually see him play some competitive matches with other top ranked players like Nameless and Tape 2. So after seeing all this stuff, it's pretty clear to see why he became so highly ranked. So congratulations to Evermore for hitting 5,000, and I'll leave a link to that video down below in the description as well. Speaking of Korean players, this next story has to do with a whole batch of them that aren't nearly as good as Evermore because they have to use hacks in order to win. According to a post made by PvP Live, the South Korean parliament has just passed a law that makes manufacturing and distributing programs that are not allowed by the game company or terms of service directly illegal. And so what do you mean by illegal? Well, apparently if you do that, manufacture or distribute programs that are breaking a game's terms of service, the punishment for doing these things can be up to $43,000 or a maximum jail time of up to 5 years. So basically, this is a government-issued action against aimbotters, scripters, and just general hacking programs that aren't allowed by the terms of service, so that companies like Blizzard and Riot won't have to use indirect laws to sue people making hacks and bots for their games. Instead, they can directly use this amendment, which obviously makes things a lot easier. One thing they mentioned was that Overwatch, in particular, has seen hacking run rampant in South Korea, with Blizzard trying to fight back with bans against players utilizing these hacks. So I don't know what your guys' experience has been like, but a lot of times in my games, I'll randomly see a random person with a Korean name Q on my team, and then when you try to communicate with them, they legitimately do not know English, so they don't respond at all. So there are Korean players playing on North American servers fairly frequently that just don't communicate at all in a team-based game, which obviously makes things harder because a lot of the times they just go rogue. And I've heard a lot of people say that the reason this happens is because the aimbotting and hacking problems in Korea are that bad. So bad that there's this mass exodus of Korean players that don't even play on Korean servers. They play in North American ones instead. So I don't know if anyone else has actually seen that, but I run into that situation pretty frequently. And if it is more common than just my anecdotal experience, maybe this Korean amendment will set off a chain reaction that allows Blizzard or whatever game company to go after these hacking groups, which will in turn de-incentivize Koreans from leaving the Korean servers en masse and playing on North American servers where a lot of times they don't communicate whatsoever in a team-based game. So all in all, this new Korean amendment sounds like a very good thing if it's actually enforced. And one last tangent on this whole topic before we move on to something else. Blizzard was actually just recently hit with a DDoS attack. They posted this tweet that said, "We are currently monitoring a DDoS attack which is affecting latency/connections to our games." So if you were playing Overwatch or World of Warcraft recently and you've noticed you had some issues, it was probably because of this DDoS attack. This next story is about a YouTuber who has over 400,000 subscribers named Best in Class. He plays a lot of Call of Duty on his channel, and he posted this tweet that was kind of interesting where he said, "YouTube deleted 5,000 of my comments on my new video. There was 9,000 comments, and now there's 4,000. So as you guys know, there's been a lot of talk of strange things happening with YouTube lately, but this is one I haven't seen anyone else talk about. Huge volumes of comments being deleted. And the final story is about a YouTuber and vlogger named Noodlerella. who has over 690,000 subscribers. This whole thing started on November 25th when she sent out a tweet that said, "Got hit by a car, lol, I'm totally fine, legs broken AF, but gonna be fine as can be," along with the photo of her smiling while riding in an ambulance, as well as lying in a hospital bed with a cast on her left leg. And the next day, she tweeted that she's going to have an operation to put a metal pole in her leg, and she's been told her recovery will take 2 months. So after that, she tweeted out saying, "Operation was apparently a lot more complicated than they were expecting. But success. I am now bionic woman." So after these updates, she actually released her first vlog since the injury, and as you can see, she vlogged from a hospital bed. But she doesn't really go into detail about getting hit by the car. All she really says about it is that you'll find out about it in the next video that she posts on our main channel. Well, now she actually has posted a video about it on her main channel titled, "I got hit by a car and broke my leg." In the video, she explains that she's been in San Francisco to vlog and record some voiceovers at Pixar Studios. And after returning to the UK and taking a taxi home from the airport, she realized she didn't have her prescription medication and decided to walk to a nearby pharmacy to pick it up. So a minute later, she looked both ways to cross the street, and she saw that the street was clear to her left, and a black car on her right stopped and is waving for her to cross. But as she crossed, she described it as a car whacked her in the pelvis. And as this happened, she realized this car is still coming, meaning the driver hadn't stopped at this point. And according to her, she doesn't believe the driver had even noticed hitting her yet. So she pushed herself off the hood of a still moving car and described watching the wheel of the car go over her leg and not feeling a thing because of the adrenaline. So it's a pretty insane thing to have happen to you. And at this point, her leg was completely broken and she was unable to move at all. But fortunately, she was able to call over a group of girls who were standing on the sidewalk and has them call 999, which is the UK's version of 911. The video goes on to talk about how she was brought into the hospital and had x-rays taken of her broken leg, and a surgeon asked if they had permission to perform surgery as soon as possible to put the metal rod in her leg. Because apparently in this situation, unlike with a cast, if she had the surgery, she might be able to start trying to walk soon after it was done. But before she was able to get into surgery, the hospital went into a code black, meaning they have so many patients that they couldn't accept any new ones. And it was actually 4 days before she had the surgery she needed. And then in conclusion to everything, she just described the whole procedure as, they just cut out a little bit of your life and you wake up and it's done. And she also said that it was very relaxing. Then she went on to say that she was released from the hospital and is currently staying at her parents' house, and that even despite this injury, she's going to keep vlogging every day for December and hopes that by the end of it, she'll be able to walk again. So this is a pretty crazy situation that sounds like it was extremely painful, but hopefully the procedures that she did will allow her to walk as soon as possible. One last thing before I go, if any of you guys want to submit stories for me to talk about in future videos, all you have to do is go to the Discord link that is in the description of this video, and once you're there, you can read how to submit news. And that's all for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. And if you haven't checked out some of these other videos on the channel, you can click on them to check them out, whether you're on PC or on mobile. Either way, it still works now. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.